Hello there. I decided to talk about stress this evening, and am I stressed or am I stressed? This is my third attempt, and yes, it could cause me stress. It's not really causing me stress, it's just, I guess, it's an irritant. Now, what did cause me stress? This morning I was on my way to work, and as I was driving down this road, which is a 30-mile-an-hour road, this car came out of a side road right in front of me. I nearly had a head on collision. My immediate thought was, I could have been dead. In that split second, somebody was instrumental in taking my life. Just because they're too impatient to wait for me to pass so they could go behind me. Nothing behind me, nothing stopping them. I could understand if, you have to rush in because you've been waiting on the side road for so long. But no, that wasn't the circumstance. So I was left physically shaken for about 20 minutes. I went to work, I had water, and I had a hot cup of tea, sweet tea, and after about 20 minutes it subsided. But I'm just talking about, insensitivity and how selfishness and intolerance and impatience, all of those things cause secondary stress because how that person was feeling impacted me. And it could have been quite devastating, the outcome, just because that person needed to get to where they were going and they didn't think it through. Anyway, I've got quite a lot to get through, so I wanted to talk about the things that may be compounding stress in your life that you might not realize that it's making you irritable, making you impatient, making you intolerant. And it's apart from all these major things like environment, climate change, and the wars and immigration. Apart from that, the daily things that impact our lives, every single one of us, well, not everyone, but a lot of us, and which could be instrumental in making you feel depressed, upset, not quite sure why, you just cannot be bothered to do anything, go anywhere, make an effort to look good. So let me just go through it quickly. So, first, you need to feel psychologically safe. If you don't feel psychologically safe, you're going to be stressed. Not obviously stressed, most of it is subliminal and unconscious. Um, but some people call it vicarious stress because it's kind of compounded over a period of time. And some people, it might be secondary stress because it's not impacting, it's not something that you are directly involved with, but the impact of what somebody else is doing or what somebody else has done or what you're involved in can stress you out. So we've got it hasn't been people haven't been psychologically safe since COVID. That's 5 years ago. Um, we've had job losses, business failures, which affect the home and the family. We've had relationships break down because of the isolation, because of the being confined in a small space and having to be with somebody 24 hours a day when you're only used to see them once or twice a week. You've got alcoholism as a result and other addictions. You've got domestic abuse because of lack of impatience and frustrations. You've got mental health issues because of, like I said, all of these situations, and people are not recognizing what may be causing them stress. They may be going to work and thinking, oh, yeah, I'm okay, not realizing the underlying impacts. Children crying, that can cause stress if you don't know what's wrong with them. Simple, well, I won't say simple little things, but things like that. Demands, if you have dependents, the demands that they have on you, that causes stress. Especially if you can't satisfy those demands. You've got loneliness and isolation. You've got those people, especially during COVID, who were unable to have family members come round and see them and speak to them. You had those who were in hospital and you as a family member couldn't go to see them, and the stress that that caused and the impact it had on you psychologically. You did not feel psychologically safe. You've got poverty and unemployment because of loss of jobs and because of retirement and resignations and people being sacked. You've got increased crime and violence. What does that do? It makes you feel, oh, am I going to be attacked? Is my child going to be attacked? Is it okay for my child to go to school by themselves? Is it okay for them to come home by themselves? You know, do I need to go and pick them up? If I need to go and pick them up, am I going to make it to my workplace in time? Is there going to be traffic and am I going to be stuck here? All of those things, stress. Cyber attacks, you know, whether or not is somebody going to try and break into my phone? Are they going to try and steal my money? That kind of thing. All of those things that you're thinking about that are constantly directed at you can cause stress. How many of us feel genuinely connected to another person? You know, we all would like that person to be genuinely connected to, but how many people, not just because you have a husband or a wife or a partner or a family member, means you're genuinely connected? Being genuinely connected means you have somebody with you who you trust. You have somebody who responds to your needs. You have somebody who's compassionate regarding your circumstances, is curious about the way you feel and what is important to you, who allows you to be you and allows you to have a voice and a choice. Someone who gives you hope and strength, someone who you feel safe with and you can discuss things in a non-defensive way. Those kind of things, if you have somebody like that, that will reduce stress levels. If you don't, it could increase stress levels. And what are the stresses? We have moral distress. Moral distress is where you know you should do something because it's ethically correct, but then you don't want to tip the apple cart, so you don't. And so you're going through this dilemma in your head. I should do it, but I can't. And that causes stress. You're not being treated equally and fairly, whether it's in the workplace or anywhere else. Some people, they get more money than others. Some people get offloaded with more work than others. Some people, they're discriminated because of their gender, their race, their disabilities, their age. All of those things cause stress if you are a victim of not being treated equally and fairly. Then you've got, you know, the climate change, and will it restrict us even further? Yes, you might not think about it consciously, but subconsciously, how is it going to impact me? Am I going to have to change my car? Is gas prices going to go up? Are fuel bills going to go up? Am I going to be able to afford it? Brexit affected the supply chain, and we have geopolitical tensions that can impact it even more, leading to scarcity and rations. We know that there's stuff not on the shelves. We go there thinking it's sold out, but you go there again the day after, the day after, the day after, it's not being replenished. So there's rations. We've got graphic images of war, the UK involvement in war. Will we be involved in war? What will happen to my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren? Will they survive? Financial problems, inflation, can I afford to pay the bills, loneliness, lack of personal interaction. Go to the mall, nobody wants to talk to you, everybody's in their own zone. And so you left feeling as though you're a burden. Loss, death of a loved one, death of animals, all of those things can increase your stress levels. Work pressures, job overload, another stressor. Reduced personal service. Can't get hold of a doctor, trying to speak to people, they redirect you to websites and bots and goodness knows what. And with technology, there's a lack of familiarity. You're stuck with a machine. Difficulty accessing services, like I said, trying to get a GP, you're redirected, and it's a bloody nightmare. Relationship challenges, and which is causing domestic abuse, alcoholism, gambling, addictions, and all of the mental health issues. And you know, a lot of people being diagnosed with severe illnesses, or people they know have been diagnosed with a severe illness or a chronic illness, and having to deal with that. The people who are dependent on you, or you get new dependents that you wasn't anticipating. All of those increased stress levels. Will I get home safe? You do not know, another stressor. So all I'm saying is that you need to feel psychologically safe. And let me see if I've got time to say this. Yeah, people need to feel psychologically safe. And I hope key elements, connections, genuine connectedness with human beings. And yes, you need to be listened to. and have somebody who understands where you are. So I hope this goes some way towards you understanding why you might be feeling the